Solaria, leave me. Victory here means death.
I once thought the same of my home world, before you arrived.
Sire, to the west is a Colossus webway gate, deploying Eldar in great numbers. Eastwards, they are also working to activate another Colossus gate. Together we can conquer these perils, and the others that await us.
You are all certain, are you? First, we must put these Eldar to the sword.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Dawn of War 3. I'm very excited to be able to bring you some alpha gameplay. I was able to get hands-on and record about an hour of footage at EGX this past weekend, and I've kind of reduced the footage down to about 20-25 minutes, so hopefully you get to see all of the action-packed parts and less of me trying to get used to the game. So, this is probably one of, if not my favourite game that I managed to play at EGX. I played quite a few titles. I did stick a lot to the kind of indie area as well, handed out a few business cards to various companies, but when I got an email from Relic asking if I wanted to come down and record some footage and get hands-on with the game, I jumped at the opportunity. So they were very kind, and I was actually recording next to Lionheart, so we were both kind of recording at the same time on Friday morning, and I'm sure you'll see his video later on as well. So I'm pretty used to real-time strategy games. I have played the original Dawn of War, and to a lesser extent Dawn of War 2. So the fact that they're bringing back the large-scale battles of the original, I was really excited to see. But they seem to have got a really nice blend of Dawn of War 1 and Dawn of War 2. So with Dawn of War 2 they're going to introduce the hero units. So where we have Solaria as the big kind of Space Marine mech, the Imperial Knight, and we also have Gabriel, who is the leader of the chapter. So he's very melee focused, whereas Solaria is incredibly, well, ranged focused. And having her special abilities as kind of firing the torpedoes were pretty awesome. So there may not be commentary throughout this entire video, so you can kind of hear the gameplay and enjoy it without me bumbling around trying to think of things to say. But what I will say is, I don't believe it's coming out until sometime in 2017. I did ask if there was a release date, but they weren't able to give me a specific one. I hopefully will be able to record more of this at some point for you before release. I'm really hoping that I'm able to. I do live in the same city as where the studio is based in Vancouver, and the chap that I met, Jamie, who was a very nice chap, so hopefully I'll get to meet him again. But as you can see, I'm kind of working my way through the objectives. This is a late game campaign mission for the Space Marines. You're going up against the Eldar, and you need to destroy the various Colossus gates, so the east one and the west one, and I believe destroy the excavators, and then you need to go and kind of destroy the temple guard. So as you can see, I'm getting used to the controls. I'm probably not playing this as smoothly as you'd expect. It's always a bit odd kind of recording on a computer you're not used to, but I kind of took my time with it, hence why I was actually kind of recording for an hour. So here we have Solaria's attack there, the missile attack. Unfortunately I kind of went off screen at that point, kind of focusing on trying to keep my men alive at that point. Trying to defend my base from the Eldar. I should say, if you're looking to see, so there's a big, I forget the name of it, but there's a huge kind of artillery kind of energy beam that the Space Marines have access to in this mission. It's just above Gabriel on the top left of the HUD, and you're going to see that. I think if you wanted to see it right away, you can skip to the 16-minute mark of the video. That's where I use it for the first time semi-competently. That beam is freaking epic. So you can actually control where it moves to, and the stronger it gets, well, the more people you kill with it, the stronger it gets, the more the beam intensifies. Yeah, so if you want to see that right away, skip to the 16-minute mark, because I wouldn't want you to miss out on that part of the video. So something I didn't really pay too much attention to was the use of the shields. I kind of thought they were just for the Eldar, so I didn't actually try and use them too much. But about halfway through my recording session, Jamie came up to me and said, are you using those kind of shield portals that you can kind of capture? I was like, no. I think the Eldar use them a lot more than the Space Marines would. So the fact that you have to kind of destroy the shield to get to the Eldar units, I think Eldar units on the whole are a lot weaker than Space Marines. But together, they definitely do pack a punch. Having the combined shield and fire before you can even break down the shield is a bit lethal. But I just kind of sent Gabriel in, as you can see there, to just go in and smashy smash smash. And as you can see there, you have drop pods. One just dropped there with the Space Marines. The Assault Marines kind of coming out down from the drop pod. You can actually select any units you can recruit to get in those drop pods and deploy them at any point in the battlefield. I think as long as you can see where they're going to be dropping, you can in fact drop them. So to have those kind of drop in behind enemy lines during the battle is great. So that little fella there, that's a servitor, and I was using them mainly to kind of keep my tanks repaired. They are actually responsible for base building as well. I didn't do too much of that in this level. I kind of kept with the initial base I had and kind of built an occasional kind of defensive turret on the energy points. But I really wanted to keep the units that I had in battle because, you know, it's cheaper to repair units than it is to get new ones. So I was trying to keep my tanks in action as long as possible, so that's what I was using the servitors for.
They followed me here, died for me, but I never truly led them. I will not make that mistake again.
So what I was doing just there was essentially there are various Blood Raven signals that you can get a little bit of extra resources from. They are all kind of dead. As you can hear Gabriel saying they fight and died for me. But as you can see here, I'm looking at what units I want to get out. I kind of went for mainly the Predator Annihilators and the Assault Marine squads. If I were to play it again, I'd probably pick different units. Just so I can kind of play around with them a bit more. I do get some Dreadnoughts later on in the campaign, which are kind of heavy infantry, smashy types. So oh, here we go. This should be a pretty good shot with the rockets here. So you can see the firepower that you can have in that Imperial Knight is really, really fantastic. So one thing I didn't use was the Assault Squad's jetpacks. So it's only after I spoke to Lionheart afterwards. I said, oh yeah, did you use the jetpacks? I was like, no. That's one thing I need to get better at, is using the special abilities of the various units. I only really thought the hero units had the special abilities, but a lot of the units do have their own various passive and non-passive abilities to use.
From the west gate.
So one thing that keeps on happening throughout the mission is the Eldar launching attacks on your base. So you need to keep a bit of a garrison whenever you can. I, however, didn't really do that to a great effect. I probably should have used that a little bit better. So this is my assault on the Western Colossus gate, and I didn't actually realise that there was a countdown on the second gate excavation. I didn't actually look up on that top right too much, so I was taking my time taking this gate when I probably should have been rushing it a little bit earlier on in the mission. I think if you were to play this mission at EGX, they only kind of give you half an hour in order to keep the queues down. So I was kind of very lucky. I got there pretty much as soon as it opened that day, went straight up and went down to kind of do my recording. So I was lucky enough to be able to get an hour to record. One thing that I did mention to Jamie, as you can see, Gabriel's getting really heavily injured at this point. Some RTSs, if you lose your kind of main hero, then the mission fails. But whereas if your heroes die here, then you can kind of wait a few minutes and get them back in the campaign. You can redeploy them, which was kind of really great because I did lose Gabriel at one point. I never actually lost the Imperial Knight because she is an absolute badass, and she just destroyed anything that she came across, pretty much.
The Eldar have activated the second Colossus gate. They will muster from there as well, in greater numbers.
So I'm kind of fiddling around and seeing what I can do thereabouts. One thing that I wasn't too hot on until I talked to Jamie was the kind of the resource points. They're kind of scattered around the map. So in terms of the resource points, I didn't actually capture as many as I probably should have done. However, as soon as kind of Jamie kind of explained that to me, I was hot on the heels and doing what I could to get more resource points. As you can see there, I've upgraded that one with various bits and bobs in order to make it more efficient, and I've also put a turret on there as well to help kind of defend the base.
We have engaged a fierce enemy force to the southwest.
So as you can see there, I did just lose Gabriel.
Assault Marines deployed.
And on the left hand, you can kind of see when he's going to be able to be redeployable.
This one, sir.
Our issuing post is destroyed. The enemy is stealing a point.
Let us waste no time.
Lords may stay while
Predator Annihilator reporting systems and crew ready. What is the target when we deploy?
Yes, sir. We are ready for war. This one
A power generator is in jeopardy.
Sire, they are marching towards our stronghold from the east gate.
The enemy is stealing a point.
Destroyed.
Destroy a requisition generator.
Tactical Marines ready.
So as you can see, I'm kind of using various units in the drop pods now, so I decided to get it's a Dreadnought in one of the drop pods. As I was having quite a lot of fun, kind of just letting them kind of plough through the Eldar lines there. So I think I don't know if I was focusing too much on getting a lot of vehicles. Although tanks are fairly powerful, the assault marines were very good at kind of cutting down the kind of lower tier Eldar units.
Our brothers are met by a weak enemy force westward.
And then we had the Dreadnought kicking some Eldar bottom. He's just decimating them. I just love the kind of the animations on the game.
Our brothers are met by a weak enemy force southward.
So in terms of future content on the game, hopefully I'll be able to give you some more stuff before the release. But I imagine during the release period, whenever it happens, this is probably the type of game that I'd love to stream the campaign and then probably do some kind of multiplayer matches with friends and co and kind of upload that kind of stuff. But as you can see, this is me using that kind of beam weapon for the first time. I do forget its name, my apologies. But as you can see, it absolutely kicks ass. It's just destroying anything it comes across. It doesn't last forever, so I kind of mistimed my main attack as I didn't realise the beam would be kind of expiring then and there. So pretty much as soon as I realised how powerful this beam weapon was, thank you Jamie once again, I began using it at any opportunity I could, especially when there's going to be, I kind of knew there'd be kind of huge packs of Eldar troops. When I saw gameplay for the first time, I think it was after E3, I wasn't too keen on the art style that they decided to take. However, after playing it, now I think it looks stunning, it looks beautiful, and really kind of fits in well with, I think, what they were trying to do. And one thing I should say, it played beautifully. So I think I'm just pretty much mopping up the Eldar forces now. You will have noticed at this point that the video is only in 720. That is all they were kind of recording the footage at. So I think it should be in 720 60 FPS. Apologies, it isn't in 1080. I think that's just the setting they had on their kind of recording software. I didn't want to upscale it, as I kind of thought that would kind of hamper the experience a little bit. So hopefully 720 should still give you, you know, decent viewing pleasure.
This is Gabriel.
So we're approaching towards the end of the mission now, and this is the assault on the Eldar temple. And as you can see, the Eldar have their own huge machine to kind of combat mine. So I was pretty confident when I started the assault of the temple, but I didn't realise how many troops they actually had. I was hoping that a beam would pretty much destroy their kind of super trooper, but unfortunately it didn't work. And I think this might be a bit of a bug where it's kind of hanging up in the air there. I'm not too sure. It might just be held up there by the beam.
We are ready for you.
So as you can see, my forces are getting rather depleted, and I made the decision to try and fall back because I didn't want to risk losing all of my units, but as you can see, I've pretty much lost about 90% of them. So I had to kind of go back and regroup, get my servitors to repair any remaining units, and build another army to finish off the temple defenders. So I imagine if I had have done a little bit of a different tactic, then it would have gone differently. But you know, it's all learning really. And as you can see there, I'm getting my orbital strikes in, which allows me to assemble, you know, forces right away in case they decided to sally out. I'm pretty happy they chose not to though. But here we have another force assembled with a lot of assault marines. So here we go with the final assault on the temple. This one, thankfully, does go a lot better. So I'd just like to say thanks again to Relic for allowing me to record the footage and be able to bring it to you. Hopefully you guys and gals have enjoyed this Dawn of War 3 video. If you have, please do show your support. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. And if you've been very generous, please do leave a like. It's very much appreciated. I'm very much looking forward to playing Dawn of War 3 a lot more in the future. But until next time, everyone, I bid you a very, very good day.
We'll make our stand at the temple with Lord Kaya.
Run them down, brothers.
You have won.